is winning the toss, opting to bat first, and their opening batsmen, Zach Crawley, Daniel Bell-Drummond, they've been in really good form. At over 200 runs, adjusting to conditions nicely as the tournament progressed. Lost the first game when they started this campaign. Bell-Drummond have a fine century in the competition. 105, unbeaten 105. Very good average as well. Alongside me, Tino Bess. Everything to play for here. Ken Spitfires.
Yes, indeed. And good afternoon to viewers. Shino Bravich thought he bowled well the first game. I think he has a bright future. Once he continues to work at his game and get stronger as a fast bowler, he has a beautiful action, Darren. Very smooth action as well.
Starts with a wide. Standing umpires, Jacqueline Williams signaling a wide on the first delivery. A partner for today's match, Leslie Reefer Jr. Jacqueline Williams from Jamaica, Leslie Reefer Jr. from Barbados. Third umpire, Dayton Butler. Fourth umpire, Lyndon Rajkumar. First run off the bat. No. Should just be one.
Yes, Darren. That first delivery outswing, the next delivery straighten. So you can move the ball both ways. It's a good sign. See this delivery straightening somewhat, not really swinging back too big. Just straightening.
Bowled him. Wonderful delivery. Just hitting the top of off stump, going through the gate, as they say. Well, this is bizarre. What we saw, that ball made contact with the stump. The bails popped up and didn't fall out. My oh my. This must be a first in cricket.
I said bowled him because you heard the stumps being hit, and I said beautifully bowled Shino Bravich because it was a beautiful delivery, one that nipped back, bowled him neck and crop, and I've never seen anything like this, Darren. It's hit the bill. It hit the top of the bill. Oh my gosh! And then over the keeper, Darren. Look at that. I've seen it all. Beautifully bowled, no wicket.
Oh, this is amazing. Just grazing the top of the off bail. Wonderful inward movement. The length was perfect. Well, that is very disappointing for Shino Bravich. It was a perfect delivery. Most coaches will tell you, aim for the top of off stump. He did exactly that. Made contact with the bail and did not get the outcome he wanted. How unfortunate.
Maybe he's not fast enough, Darren. That's all I can bring it down to. But a beautiful in swinger. And oh man, you have to feel for Shino Bravich. What a delivery. Well bowled and well played. Oh, just one more look at that. Oh man. You run up from 30 yards, you bowl this delivery, and you say bowled him. And you hear the song loudly because I said bowled. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, look at the reactions from the Leeward Island players. They can't believe it. Checking the bail to see if it's stuck on. Very good first over. 7 runs from it. 7 without loss. Remember, the first delivery went for a wide.
If that guy in the last photo day was bowling those stunts would have gone 10 yards back. That's Alan Donald, one of the quickest bowlers to ever play the game.
Go!
Might have gone over the wicketkeeper for 6. End of the first over. Still 7 runs conceded. I was just about to say, stickler for starting an innings on the right note. The first delivery was a wide. Then Shino Berridge made up for that. Could not get the wicket after making contact with the bail. Look at this. Through the game, top of the stump. Bail just jumped a bit and went back down into the grooves. Nice upright seam over the wicket keeper. Well, Devon Thomas will pick up proceedings from the other end with the ball. Wonderful leg cutter to start. Well, if you followed his career, started off as a wicketkeeper, Devon Thomas, and a batsman. And now you very rarely see him behind the stumps. Bowls a skiddy medium pace. 2 for 11, his best. Decent economy.
And he's bowled in international cricket as well against Bangladesh back in 2009. Well, fairly lively as well. Got up to about 89, 85 miles an hour. Alan Donald there looking on, one of the quickest bowlers that have ever played the game. He goes by the name of White Lightning. He was rapid.
I'll tell you a funny story about Alan Donald. My very first ball in Test cricket was against that gentleman. And the first delivery he bowled to me was a short delivery at Kingsmead in Durban. Very rapid, mean-looking fast bowler back in his day. The first few runs in Test cricket came off his bowling as well. Sweetly timed extra cover drive for 4.
You're so cheeky, Darren. Alan Donald. I remember my first encounter with Alan Donald as well was at the Weymouth Cricket Ground in Barbados back in 2001. And he and Mackay Intini was giving me some good tips. He was saying to bowl as many short balls to the South African batsmen.
And now he's coaching, sharing his knowledge. Excellent career, Alan Donald, for South Africa. Now sharing that with the Kent Spitfires and the young players. We heard Daniel Bell-Drummond speak about how invaluable Jimmy Adams has been to their setup when he was there as coach of Kent. Jimmy Adams now the director of cricket for Cricket West Indies. 2 overs gone, 8 without loss. Kent Spitfires, very good team. Top order, they've been very productive in terms of run scoring. Crawley, Bell-Drummond. Crawley, in fact, he's accumulated before this match 219 runs. Highest score of an unbeaten 99. Bell-Drummond, 221 runs. Highest score 105, unbeaten as well. It's so good to see your top 2 getting runs, batting most of the overs in a 50-over match. It's exactly what you'd want. That's the number 3 batsman. Sean Dixon waiting for his turn with the bat. Looks a very relaxed bunch of players. They have a real opportunity to go all the way in this competition. Many of the regional teams depleted by players going off different competitions.
Beautifully bowled by Berridge. Good lines, good lengths. If you want to start, that's the thing, you want to start with that new ball. You want to be there and thereabout. Good lines, good length, upright seam. Darren has a wonderful action. Saw him at the hotel and I said, you just have to get stronger. You imagine you getting strong with this action, a very smooth action as well. Everything going down the pitch in one direction. Beautifully bowled again. A little bit of shape away. With that action, that's a lovely action, Darren. It's not a mixed action as well. And he's not going to get a lot of injuries as well with this action. This is a good, fast bowling action. Everyone is unique, don't get me wrong. But sometimes you just have to wonder and say, look, that's a beautiful cricket bowling action. Upright.
Reminds me a bit of Vasper Drake's approaching the stumps very front on with the action.
Yeah, very good action, very good action, Darren. And if you're a fast bowling coach, that's what you want. You don't want a mixed action, and find a lot of West Indian fast bowlers have mixed actions. I mean, the chest is facing down the pitch and the legs are facing to straight mid wicket or so. We call that a mixed action. And he has a lovely straight front on action. Wonderfully bowled again.
He's 27 years of age, just 4 wickets to his name. End of over number 3, it's 8 without loss. Yeah, this Leeward Islands Hurricanes team not flying high at the moment. Got off to a very good start, 2 wins from their first 2 matches. And then it went downhill. And they finish on a high note. Monson Hodge back with the responsibility to captain this team. Just 2 wins. Had a bonus point when they played against the USA in that match that they won. Got the better of Jamaica as well, very early in the competition. Coach Winston Benjamin, must be very challenging for him to have a change in resources. Rakeem Cornwall not there. Karen Powell, very experienced player. Jamal Hamilton, Kevin Cooper, Jeremiah Louis. Lots of players. Even Marlon Samuels from Jamaica was a member of this squad. Uppish, but behind point and safe.
And that's a challenge for all the coaches in this tournament, especially the West Indian coaches. They have lost so many players. Barbados has been probably one of the hardest hit teams. Trinidad as well. And
it doesn't matter for Trinidad now.
Well, that happens, but it's been really challenging for coaches. Winston Benjamin there on your screen.
Yeah, they've given a lot of young players opportunities. Kofi James was given the opportunity to captain this team on 2 occasions. I like the look of Casey Carty. Very complete, organised, top order batsman. Terence Ward. He's looked very good with bat and ball. He's amassed 184 runs in 6 matches and 9 wickets to his name, Terence Ward. So positives to take from this campaign. That's him there. There's a bright future ahead of him in Leeward Islands cricket. Another good delivery. Devon Thomas getting a little bit of lateral movement.
Yes, beautifully bowled by Devon Thomas. Split finger. Off cutter, one that comes down on the seam and straightens. Well, ball.
Forward's gone. 9 without loss. As it did start here by the Kent Spitfires. Cut away. Diving effort. It's always going to be challenging because it was cut into the gap. First boundary of the innings.
Yes, short and wide, giving Bell-Drummond enough arms as well to play that shot, and he's going to live right there. Beautifully played, wonderful shot. Growing tall on the top of the toes there. Play that square the wicket. Not a valiant effort somewhat from Orlando Peters, but no avail.
I like the discipline from the bowlers so far. And the rare short delivery. But overall they've been good in terms of their lengths. Bowling according to their feel in that offside corridor. Changing the feel, a slip coming to extra cover to give a little more protection. Maybe a little more focus on concentrating outside that off stump. It happens all the time. An adjustment in the field and the ball goes into that vacant area where the fielder was.
Yes, not good captaincy. And I tell you why, Darren, because it wouldn't have gone to hand. It would have been an easy stop. It would have carried, but it would have encouraged the bowler to continue to bowl that line and length. If he's bowling that line and length, you don't need the extra cover, Darren. So he bowls a short ball, get cuts behind point, and you take the second slip out. Oh, come on. Onson Hodge.
Very similar to setting fields for bad bowling, and that's an easy trap that captains can find themselves in. Very early in the match, the ball is pretty new. Most of the times bowlers would want to have attacking fields. That's when you have the best chance of getting wickets. That's when they're most vulnerable at the start of the innings.
And this field will be better suited for a guy like Thomas, who isn't going to get the bounce like Shino Beveridge. So if you're getting that bounce, like the second over that he's bowled, he's into his third. His second over was beautifully bowled. Why are you taking out the second slip, the extra catcher, after a boundary? It's not good captaincy. You gotta be aggressive, too sedated. Short ball attempted. Bell-Drummond into the shot too quickly. The end of the 5th over. 17 without loss.
Yeah, still that focus on the offside. Short delivery. Yeah, there must be clear sort of plans between the captain and bowlers in order to get the result or the outcome that you want. This is a very good batting lineup, so you can't afford to make simple mistakes. Kent, they would have been through a very structured setup and preparation, very thorough before the start of their county season. Most county teams go through that type of process. So very much aware of the roles of the different players.
Well, ball, Devin Thomas, he has a slippery short ball. And it's something that has been very disappointing for me in this tournament. Not enough short balls. As you see, one has a good short ball, well directed. And as we want to see, why are you peeping on that front foot? You have a new brand ball in your hand. Bowl some short balls, get it nice and straight at the body of the batsman. But then again, we don't really have any fast bowlers in the Caribbean to bowl them. So when you say A, you got to say B, Darren. Fast bowling is a dying craft in the Caribbean. Is it because of the pitches? Is it because of the coaching? What is the problem? And I think it comes down to a bit of both. Pitches, fast bowlers. And I just think that when you produce so many great West Indian fast bowlers from this part of the world, it hurts your heart to see you don't have anybody in any of these teams that can bowl 90 miles an hour, bowl some short balls, intimidate the batsman. It just hurts your heart to look on when you're someone like myself who built a career on pure aggression. It's hurtful, but you got to work with what you got to work with.
O'Shane Thomas from the Jamaica Scorpions looks like a very good prospect. Kimo Paul as well, Odin Smith. Young fast bowlers who must be encouraged. Romario Shepherd, who's partnered Kimo Paul in the Jaguars team in this Group B. End of 6 overs, 18 without loss. Without loss after 6. Still the two openers assessing conditions, getting accustomed to the bowling from the opposition. It's an important aspect of opening the batting, being able to send the right message to the rest of the batting as it relates to conditions and the opposition bowlers. Very watchful, these two. This is Shino Berridge. Ball that clipped the top of the bail but dislodged it, so he couldn't get a wicket. But he's concentrated on that offside area, showing some aggression as well.
And you see the extra cover has come back into second slip as well.
I've had the opportunity to captain Trinidad and Tobago and the West Indies A team as well, and I also think that it's important for you to, show the gaps to the batsman if you're trying to set him up. The more you plug the gaps, prompts the batsman to think differently. So by having an extra cover, he's going to think twice of going through the cover region. Be a little more watchful. See? He's intentionally trying to guide the ball through that third man region. I would rather show him the gap in extra cover, entice him to play the shot, so it can produce the edge for the man standing at second slip, or maybe a gully. That's another aspect that captains must look at.
You're absolutely spot on, Darren. And it just goes to show you that the captaincy or the mindset of captains in the Caribbean. The only good captain I see in the Caribbean is Leon Johnson.
Well, in this group, we've not had the chance to see.
I've seen it. I've done the radio in Barbados, and the captaincy of the teams in the other tour and the other zone has been very sedated and very defensive. You have to be attacking. You have to get wickets for that new ball. Apart from being at Kensington Oval with the pitch going through a bit, you had 2 slips and a gully. You have to be aggressive if you're captaincy as well. So something that's lacking.
Yeah, if it's one thing we've seen captains be too conservative in their approach. And at the start of a match, it allows you to be a little more attacking than normal. Monson Hodge, to be fair to him, he was out of the team, had the responsibility as captain and now brought back in. So that stop-start sort of approach doesn't help a young captain. Nicely timed. It goes all the way. A wonderful shot. Yeah, by Zach Crawley. Just leant on it. Presented the full face of the bat. 7 overs gone. 24 without loss.
Yeah, he's just been really patient. Darren, beautiful cricket shot down the ground. Showing the maker's name as well. On this occasion, Sheeno Beveridge just missing his lane and his length. Being a bit too full. These English batsmen are always going to be on that front foot looking. So that's why you have to be aggressive at them. Get some balls in their rib cage. Get them thinking. Well, Devon Thomas continues.
What we've seen in the recent past in the Caribbean, we've seen a dominance by the slow bowlers. Spinners, they've dominated proceedings in both the long version of the game and the 4-day competition in the PCL, where Sami Permal was a leading wicket taker.
And I tell you this, Darren. Oh, I was watching the game between Barbados. I was watching the game between Barbados and Guyana in Barbados, and the pitch was green. It had pace in it. And Versami Permal came into the bowling attack in the 60th over. I think maybe the 55, 55th, 56th over in the game. And you wouldn't see this regularly at all because the pitch was green. It was hard. It had pace in it. And that's what you want to do. I think the only reason why spinners dominate cricket in the Caribbean now is because of the pitches. They are flat, they are docile, they have no pace in it. So in the 11th over of a first class game on the first morning, spin is introduced because there's no pace in the pitches.
Even in this regional Super 50 competition, the top 5 leading wicket takers, 3 are spin bowlers. Shane Shillingford, he's actually the leading wicket taker in this year's competition. Sunil Narayan closely follows him, and Devendra Bishu as well is in that top 5 leading wicket takers for this competition. So again, spin dominating.
Only because of the surfaces, Darren.
This is really poor on the part of Javon Searles. Should have given a better effort. He's one of the young players on the rise in the Caribbean. Just not keeping his eyes on the ball. Maybe a little bit of a deviation off the pitch. Some excellence from him. So he makes up. He makes up for what transpired before. End of over number 8, 26 without loss. Nice partnership between these two. 26 from 49. Bell-Drummond 13. Zach Crawley 8.
Let's look at this top from Javon Searles. He's that type of cricketer, Darren, that he made a mistake the ball before, but he makes up for it. He's one of those cricketers, he doesn't like anyone to think that he's not giving 150%. He grew up in the same community as well, in Barbados, and I've watched him come up through the ranks.
Stifle appeal. Slow delivery from Shino Barrage.
Yeah, slow ball. Big inside edge. Easy call for umpire Williams to say not out. But I don't want to see these slow balls in the power play. I want Shino Barrage to run in, hit the deck hard, be aggressive with that new ball. Try to nick them off. Don't bowl those slow balls yet.
Will be a chase. Definitely a couple of runs. Didn't quite get hold of it. Zach Crawley. He's a tall batsman. Probably expecting a little more bounce. Had to get low to swivel on that shot. Have a look at this. It was banged on short. Just about over knee height. Had to make the adjustment.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to bowl against some very tall batsmen. The 3 tallest batsmen I've ever bowled against was Peter Fulton from New Zealand. He's about 7 foot tall, Darren. He opens the batting, and the bat looks like a little toothpick when he comes out to bat. Kevin Peterson is tall as well. Michael Van Dort, who played for Sri Lanka, he was an extremely tall batsman, 6'7", 6'8". So you don't usually see a lot of tall batsmen.
And what about Matthew Hayden? He was a hop. Chance for a run out. Not a direct hit. Was there a little bit of indecision between these two? Love to see that from side on. Yeah. Might have been close. Glorious. Gets to the pitch of it. Didn't try to hit it too hard. Just came down with firm wrists on that shot. Looks in very good form, Bell-Drummond. 33 without loss after 9. Well, that's pulled away out through mid-wicket. Gone for 4. And Crawley, who had a fairly shaky start, playing and missing a lot, is now finding his footing. A nice shot there, Bish. Pulling through mid-wicket.
He played it with authority. Tino Betts was alluding to it earlier in the first stint of commentary, and I spent a lot of yesterday thinking about how many short balls I've seen.
Well, Devon Thomas apparently liked the shot, because he went short again. He got the same treatment this time, a little square up. Bish picked up that one early, almost as if he was expecting it. Same result.
One of the few times in the tournament, apart from Kofi James, a little bit 2 games ago, that we're seeing attempts at the short ball, but this is beautifully played. Crawley got a 99 against these, controversially, when they met earlier in the tournament.
This could be tight.
He got to 99 and Crawley in that game down at the Sir Vivian Richards Cricket Ground, and there were a couple of wides that were bowled to finish the game. And then the last opportunity, a ball was played into the onside and it was allowed to roll over the boundary for 4, rather controversially, just a nudge of the other batsman, Dixon.
One of the things I want to ask you about here, Bish, Devon Thomas, before this over, had bowled, 4 overs for 5 runs, basically by pitching a foot and a half outside off stump. Nobody was scoring. His 5th over, he decided to change, went short and got punished. Why wouldn't he just have maintained that line outside of 4 overs, 5 runs, and decided to do something different? Missed his run that time.
Just decided that maybe a short ball might have been an opportunity to bring him a wicket. Now remember, he's not a frontline bowler. He's got 11 first-class wickets. He has been primarily a wicketkeeper over his career. But he first, remember against Bangladesh back in 2009 in Dominica, in the second ODI, Kimar Roach was taken out of the attack for bowling 2 deliveries above waist high, the last one to Shakib Al Hassan. Thomas came into the attack to finish the over 1 ball. First ball of his next over, he got Mamadullah Riyad out. And then at the last ball, I think, he got Mushfiqur Rahim out. 2 wickets in 1 over because he was keeping and came on to replace Roach, who was taken out of the attack, 44 without loss. So it really is a part-time understanding how to construct an over, but bowling today in the power play with the new ball with Shino Berridge, who hit the bail and the top of off, went away for byes. Still like the look of Shino Berridge, but the batsmen finding their range after initially a slow start. And Kent have talked about the fact that they played here in the Caribbean last year, didn't do as well in the Super 50 Cup, but because of that experience they feel they're better off for it and they have a chance now to get through to the semis if they can win today.
So bowling change here with Peters coming in. And Peters has had 22 games, 7 wickets, an economy rate of 5.6. He's an all-rounder. And coming in to see what damage he could do.
I was talking about those short balls in the first over, and my mind goes back to the West Indies tour of New Zealand recently, late last year into 2018. And not only the test matches, but the number of short balls that New Zealand bowled to the West Indians, even in the ODIs. Long off goes back, fine leg comes up.
Daddy, is there a charge over
And
there?
it's just an additional reason why we have to get the pitches right here in the Caribbean, because so many of our players are susceptible to that short ball. We're not seeing a lot from the bowlers in this tournament. Devon Thomas, the medium pacer, has tried to bowl a couple today and has been duly punished. We need some more pace in the pitches to get our batsmen acclimatized. The short ball is a valuable weapon in this format.
And Crawley definitely looking a lot more confident, played and missed a lot. in the first few deliveries. But the old adage that says the longer you bat, the easier it will become. It's certainly proving in his case. Settled down nicely. Peters is one of those who will be coming into this Leewards team because of the fact that many people have gone on to West Indies duties. And may just need a while to find his feet. End of Peters' first over. Fairly good one, only 2 from it. 46 without loss after 11.
Sun is out here at Coolidge as well. We had an initial shower just prior to the start of play, but things have lined up quite nicely, including the cruise liners. I want to go on one of those. I'm making it mandatory this year that I'm going to sample the experience and the lives of a cruise line. It's going to be sponsored by our director. Not sure where the destination. They come out of Miami, they come out of different parts of Europe. Terence Ward into the attack.
And that's what he's done in the tournament so far. Has done reasonably well. 9 wickets in 7 games, and economy rate under 5. The 2 men out at this stage, mid-wicket, long on. You figure he'd be fairly straight, fairly tight on that off-stump line. About there, Bish. Can't afford to be too wide outside off. Decent start.
Well, it's an interesting field that he's only decided to push 2 fielders back outside the circle. Usually, just ran on, no turn. Usually you find that happening a lot within the first power play, but we're into the second power play where he's allowed to have 4 if he chooses to. No spin. So it's an aggressive mode of captaincy.
He has to bowl straight with that field, but that was a little too much down leg and punished for it. And that's the 54, the Kent Spitfires, 51 without loss now.
So it's an aggressive piece of captaincy. It's a lot of pressure on the bowler because he has no margin for error. Well, I assume that he hasn't forgotten to push another fielder back. I assume he hasn't forgotten that he can have more outside the circle. Now he pushes him back. I wonder if he forgot.
Which still means he can't be too much outside off stump. There's really no protection on the boundaries on the offside. So he has to maintain that fairly tight line.
So end of the 12th over, it's 51 without loss. Peters keeps Crawley there quiet. Has to be careful not to over pitch, because Crawley has been good at driving down the ground in this innings. He's really taking advantage of anything pitched up too close to him. Good length.
Very tidy from Orlando Peters. Call him Orlando Baby Peters down this side. But the fielding of the Hurricanes is also going to come under scrutiny as we get deeper into this innings. They've been poor. This group have not been as good as they would like to in the latter parts of this tournament, and there may be a reason for that.
Batsman makes a little shimmy but couldn't get to the pitch. Good bowling that. May have seen him coming there, Bish. As Bell-Drummond is maybe trying to get to the length. And whenever that happens, you'll get the feeling that he's a little concerned that the bowler isn't quite pitching up. Both of these batsmen have been doing fairly well to the deliveries pitched up. And the bowler maintaining immaculate length so far. That little shimmy again. This time managing a single.
You're talking about the reasons that may have inhibited the excellence of the fielding. We heard Darren Gangan calling out a group of names, including Samuels, including Kieran Powell, and a number of others, Jeremiah Louis, Rakeem Cornwall, who would have started the training process leading into this tournament. And so they would have gone through the full works. However, because, as we've heard from Cricket West Indies, the planning of the ICC qualifiers and the time constraints, there was a clash. So those players, understandably, that's understandable, had to go off. So a number of these players here would not have been involved in Winston Benjamin's core group coming into the tournament. So some of them would have coming out of the cold. So that may be one of the reasons they've not been as sharp as they would like. That shot from Hussain. There was some catches, and you hear players say none of them are straightforward. I disagree. Some of them are straightforward. You're very disappointed if you misjudge catches like these or put down the return catches. Even this one, really, there were catches that should have been taken against the Jaguars. Lives were given to Barnwell and Shimon Hickman. Again, I'll say, not all of them really were put down by players who weren't involved in them. And that man in the center, Winston Benjamin, the coach's preparation, but some of them weren't. So I'd like to think they will be better for it.
Ask you about this line, Bish. He has three people deep on the onside, a long on a deep mid wicket and a backward square, which means he has to be straight there and thereabouts on the stumps. Is that too defensive a line? Should he be outside off stump turning in?
fourth fielder is now being pushed down to long off. So the mandatory 4, or the permitted 4 back. Well, there's not as much turn out of the pitch yet. It may increase as the ball gets softer and more and older, and the pitch jags up a bit. Just a little bit of spin on that one. So he's decided to go for a straight line, which in itself is not too bad if he's looking to knock the stumps, attack the stumps, win the LBW decision. There's not too much turn. If the ball starts turning, then he can shift his line a little bit wider, but you're always hampered in the modern ODI game with only 4 fielders outside allowed between 11 to 40 overs. In times past, you would have had 5, so you could protect with the sweeper on the offside in addition to another 4 fielders. Now, only 4 allowed. Hard for the spinner.
It's picked off in the leg side again.
Once the ball starts turning, as I mentioned earlier in the tournament, then you can shift your line wider to open up the gate between bat and pad and those sorts of things.
All right, so end off the over. It's 57 without loss.
Kent going well, if a little, I suppose, circumspectly. Rate of scoring just over 4. Touch 57 without loss, all the wickets in hand. This is good by Orlando Peters. He really is keeping it simple. Last over and this first ball has just been on that length. Really, until the batsman decides to do something different, he really doesn't need to change unless he senses that there may be an advance or shot coming.
He's maintained a very good line here, Bish. Not the greatest of feeling that, which is pretty much what Devon Thomas was doing in his first 4 overs. That's hanging it there outside off stump, and has maintained pretty good discipline in that regard. 2.2 overs now, none for 5. So containment is his first order here, and doing it pretty well. Not the greatest of feeling this.
And it went to Akeal Hossein's strong hand. He is left-handed, so he will be disappointed not to have stopped that.
Not the most convincing of appeals.
Trying to discern whether there was a noise, but I couldn't pick anything up. There was a half appeal from the keeper and the bowler.
Good line. Again, just outside off stump. And asking Crawley to beat the fielder short in on the offside. Good line.
Almost wonder if there should be a temptation to get a slip back in for the last 2 balls of the over, or certainly for a short period with his playing and missing.
certainly bowling to his field. He's certainly bowling to the side where the more populated side as far as the fieldsmen are concerned. That slip that you're talking about, Bish, could come from deep mid-wicket. There's a lone man out there at the moment. That is maybe not the best of feeling again. And 4 runs is the result. It's 6-3 without loss.
It's a festival week of cricket here as we come to finals week of this Super 50 Cup, and you'll have the steel bands performing here on the 19th of February from 6 to 10 p.m. Entrance fees just $20. Steel band that has its own following, very popular band. Ward to continue. We talked about the fielding, and immediately in that last over we saw 2 misfields, one from Akeal Hussain and one from Kofi James. Kofi made good ground down on the boundary and should have stopped it. He's only 20 years old, Kofi James. It's a decent effort, but he really should have pushed it back. So again, all these little things.
And these two have been going about it pretty decently now. They're 6-4 without loss. They're not scoring at breakneck pace, mind you. But they've been good at picking up singles. And has dispatched the bad ball when it has arrived. So the partnership is now blossoming out quite nicely. Bowling is just a little bit leg-sided for me, Wish. I just don't feel that you should have picked off 3 out of 4 deliveries in the leg side necessarily. But I understand the argument about not getting the turn. But the 2 batsmen seem to be fairly comfortable at just working it into the leg side.